Coming up on Look Today, well, the Saratoga Performing Arts Center announces its 2017 classical season. I've got details. And development plans for the west side of Saratoga will include more than 400 residential units. More on that coming up. And the winner of Chowderfest 2017 have been announced. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Dr. Joy Lucas. She's a veterinarian for Upstate Animal Medical Center. We're joined by Catherine McCarthy. She's a senior regional director for the American Heart Association, and they're here to talk about a unique story involving heart disease, as well as the upcoming Capital Region Heart Ball, which is happening February 25th in Saratoga. I also sit down with Chad Rabinovitz. He's a producing artistic director for the Adirondack Theater Festival. He's here to talk about recent fundraising events, as well as the upcoming summer season. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the Saratoga Performing Arts Center announces 2017 classical season. Now, the three pillars of the classical season are the New York City Ballet, the Philadelphia Orchestra, and the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center. Well, included in the season of exciting performances, there will be many festivals celebrating American, Russian, and French culture. We spoke to Elizabeth Sobel. She's the president of SPAC.
The overall thing is that I've really tried to listen to the community about what they wanted, and there are many people who are traditionalists who want war horses and story ballet and the things that they're tried and true, and then there are other people who want to be more adventurous. They crave the new, they crave the different, and so we really tried to create a perfect balance for both with the New York City Ballet, with the Philadelphia Orchestra, and also with Chamber Music Society.
Now, we also spoke to her about some of the specific programming for this season.
Well, we've got Stéphane Tétrault, who is a French-Canadian cellist, who was a recommendation by the great Yannick Nézet-Séguin of the Philadelphia Orchestra. We've also got Conrad Tao, a spectacular young pianist.
Now, Elizabeth will be here tomorrow for an in-depth interview on the classical season. In other news, well, major housing developments are coming to the west side of Saratoga. More than 400 residential units will be included in a two-part project. 160 units will fall into the affordable housing category for Saratoga's workforce. We spoke to Bradley Birge. He's the administrator for planning and economic development for Saratoga Springs.
They've come in, they're proposing 160 units of workforce housing. 80% of those units will be targeted for individuals making about 60% of the area median. So it's service industry people. It's people working in the schools, in our hospitals, throughout our community. And it will be a mixed income range so that you'll have some with more modest incomes, but then others with greater incomes as well.
Now, many of you who watch the Saratoga City Council meetings will notice that Bradley there is a frequent speaker at those meetings. This is good news. All right, switching from news to weather. Today saw a mix of sunshine, cloudy skies, and cold weather. Let's see how the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. Looks like some more winter weather is on the way, especially as we go through the overnight hours of tonight and into the daytime tomorrow. Right now, warm front is doing its best to slide across the Great Lakes region, and this system will kind of stall out overhead, and then the cold air will come pouring back in once again. We have some chillier weather to deal with over the next couple of days. Even tonight, temperatures not warming up all that much. We'll keep the more mild air back down to our south. Pittsburgh at 40, D.C. at 47, but teens and 20s will be very widespread, even single digits as you head back up into Maine. Thankfully, not quite that cold here. We'll begin to see some snow showers at times. 23 degrees for the overnight hours. Our high tomorrow will warm up to 35. We'll see the wintry mix, but for the morning, we're going to see 1 to 3 inches of snow, eventually changing over to sleet. Could see a brief patch of freezing rain before we edge up above freezing and change whatever's left over to a little bit of light rain. So that's what we have to expect, especially earlier on tomorrow. So it'll be a slick start. Give your yourself a little extra time. Cold morning as well. Temperatures settling down to about 25 to 27, and temperatures will spike a bit back up to 45 degrees on Wednesday, still holding on to a good chance of rain. And once again, as that front pushes through, we're going to tumble down 29 degrees with sunshine Friday morning, low down to 8 degrees. We're a bit on a temperature roller coaster over the next few days, and that trend will continue right on into the weekend. Well, that's it from the Weather Center. Now back to you, Jesse.
Well, thanks, Brent. Boy, tell me the story of this winter in terms of weather isn't taking shape. Rain, more sleet, more sleet. Back to the news. Well, Chowderfest 2017 is history. It took place in Saratoga Springs this past weekend. Now, a number of streets were closed to traffic as thousands of pedestrians strolled through downtown Saratoga. Now, every restaurant was eager to dish out their specialty chowder. And the People's Choice Award, drumroll please, goes to Thirsty Owl Bistro for its seafood chowder. I've had it, it's amazing. And Gaffney's makes another comeback. Go Kevin, winning the Best Off-Broadway for its classic Southwest Shrimp Corn Chowder. Another amazing one. Congratulations to all the restaurants who participated. You know what? As well as the Convention and Tourism Bureau for organizing the event. It's a lot of work. In other news, well, we received word about a fire that happened at the Ballston Spa Middle School over the weekend. The fire started in a mechanical room in the north end of the school. The fire was determined to be started by a malfunction in one of the batteries of the floor cleaning machines. Now, due to extensive damage, we just found out the school will remain closed until February 13th. Now, we're in contact with the school, and we'll give you an update tomorrow. All right, up next, I sit down with Dr. Joy Lucas. She's a veterinarian for the Upstate Animal Medical Center. We're joined by Catherine McCarthy. She's a senior regional director for the American Heart Association. They're here to talk about a unique story involving heart disease, as well as the Capital Region Heart Ball, which is happening February 25th right here in Saratoga. Plus, I also sit down with Chad Rabinovitz. He's the artistic director for the Adirondack Theater Festival. He's here to talk about a recent fundraising event, as well as an electrifying upcoming summer season. But first, if you see who's happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got a bunch of lookouts. You know, on Monday we like to do Look Ahead, so we can tell you what's coming up. I mentioned Elizabeth Sobel, the president of SPAC, will be here. But also David Petronis is going to be here. He runs the gun show in Saratoga. Kathy Neftali is going to be here to talk about Black History Month in Glens Falls. The heroin epidemic is also going to be covered this week. Interview featuring Janine Stuchin. She's with the Prevention Council, you might remember. And Bob Gilson. He's an officer with the Saratoga Police Force. And Friday, Mayor Yepsen is going to be in, and we're going to do an interview on Friday for the upcoming Dance Flurry. A lot of activity this week. We're also covering the South Glens Falls Dance Marathon. So you've got a lot to look forward to this week. Last but not least, the lookout goes to a very dear friend of mine, Donna Eichmeyer. Donna, for many years, was the head of marketing for the Saratoga Performing Arts Center before she moved to New York to become the head of marketing for Live Nation, the big concert promotion company. She was very gracious. She invited my wife and down to the city this past weekend to see the ballet, go to the planetarium, and in typical Donna fashion, before I left, she gave me this. This is a portable fan, and she said I should leave this on the desk so that people would know that I actually have a fan. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, we're going to leave it right here for you, right? Okay, tonight on Look TV, it's Beyond the Headlines. It's a new one. And Tracks, our music show. And we do have new tracks coming because I get emails about this all the time. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.